And so literally I'm not moving. And when I'm done, I'm completely exhausted mentally. It has nothing to do with physical stuff I've done, but I just want to sit and veg. I don't want to do anything. And so
that's right. Me too.
Well, I had an eye opener because I told my doctor, I said, I know fat people say all the time that they don't know what they're doing and they really don't eat much. I said, I really don't eat much. I could not eat until 2 o'clock. And then I might nibble on some cracker. I'm more of a snacker than I am a meal person.
Uh-huh.
So, but she said, well, how much are you moving? How many steps? I said, I don't know. And so I got a Fitbit to track it. I wasn't even getting 2,000 steps a day.
Yeah,
and she said, well, Deanna, let me just say it this way. If you're only taking in, let's say 500 calories, that's not a lot. But if you're not burning off 500 calories because you're not moving, that's a weight gain. And I thought, well, crap. I really am not eating a lot, but I'm not even burning off the little bit I'm eating.
Well, it does make sense.
Hey guys, can y'all hear me?
Hi.
Yes.
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 All right. Let's see. We got 8 people. Let's see.
Me and Robin are getting to know each other. Sorry about that.
Oh no, that's good. That's good. Go ahead. Okay, let's see. Haley, Carla, Marianne, Robin. All right. Do you guys see Wiki? Yeah? That's Hilda. Y'all see that?
See what?
Do you see right here, Wiggy?
I do.
That's Hilda.
I see her name. I don't see her.
Yeah, it's Hilda.
Yeah.
I just see your face.
You see
I don't know why I'm seeing my face.
Let's see.
Here.
Hey, Hilda.
Hey. I did it right.
Yes, you did.
I just see your face. What am I looking for?
There's Miss Carol. That's not fair. You put makeup on. She must not have her audio on. Let's see.
I'm going to take my face off of here. Hey, my face, it's not the whole.
Is it storming where y'all are?
Yeah.
I'm in my car and it's storming bad. This is Carla.
Oh, hey, Carla.
Hey.
Yeah, it's well, I think it's kind of about past us, but yeah, we got it. Pretty good. So how are y'all doing?
Doing good.
Good. It's nice to see everybody. Marianne,
I'm here
where are you?
somewhere. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. I think
Okay.
you're up. Do you want me to see you or not?
Oh, I don't have,
There you go. I see you part of your little face.
okay. I've got my phone laying down.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay. Let's see. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We've got 8 people here. I'm going to give it just a little more time. So, what do y'all think about all this? Have y'all gotten to read it? Hopefully, some of it. Skim it.
I've read most of it. This is
And?
Carla. I've read
Yep.
most of it, and I think the only thing I'm confused about is like the fasting part is not going to be a problem for me because I kind of do that anyway. I don't eat a lot. I go long periods and not eat.
Uh-huh.
But I think what I'm most confused about, or what I'd like help with, and I don't know if it's an option for the group, is maybe like as a group put together, like some samples of what we should be eating in that 8-hour time to get us used to like the combinations. I know it talks about if you're going to eat a starch, you need to eat a carb with it. If you're going to eat a fruit or a sugar, you should eat a carb with it. So that and the amount of carbs, like so much percentage or how many grams of this or that or the other, like that is a little confusing to me.
Yeah. Yep. That's one of the things. That's why I decided to do this on like 2 nights a week on Monday and Thursday. That way at the beginning of the week, I can, the first time like tonight, we'll kind of go over what the overview is, kind of what you'll be learning,
Right.
what you'll be doing, and then kind of move into like for your workout days, which would be your resistance or your weightlifting days, and then
Right.
cardio or your HIIT days, whatever you're walking, whatever you're doing cardio wise, and then kind of what you're eating on each one of those days, because it's a little different. And then we'll take all of that and kind of look at your food groups, and it's a really easy kind of a formula, and I'll kind of show you how I do it. And it makes it a whole lot easier than just kind of going, oh gosh, okay, I'm supposed to eat a protein and a starch and a vegetable and a fruit. Okay, well, how am I going to, there's like a gazillion things. So anyway, so that's kind of what we're going to do. And let me make sure. Yes, we are recording. Okay, good. Well, I tell you what, let's see. 7:05. I'm going to give it 5 more minutes, and then we're going to jump in. But we are actually going to jump in with, I don't know if, everybody's days are so crazy. And we hit the ground running, whether you're, a stay-at-home mom, whether you're, a working mom, whether you're working, not a mom yet, whether, we all hit the ground running, and we don't slow down. And one of the most, along with all of this, is our stress levels. Okay. And especially when we hit 40 and over, stress levels tend to kind of create a bunch of mess within our bodies. Some of you might be familiar with this. We have 2 nervous systems. We have a parasympathetic nervous system and we have a sympathetic nervous system. Parasympathetic nervous system, let's start with the sympathetic. It is like fight or flight. Okay. And when God created the fight or flight response in us, it was more of, back when, long time ago, when you would go out and you would hunt your food. Well, if you had just sat down with your family and had a meal, and then you go hunt your food, you turn around and realize there's a bear behind you, well, you're either going to run or you're going to die. There's not a whole lot in between. Okay. And your body is designed so intricately that God basically said, okay, we have to run. Even though we just ate a meal, we don't need to waste our energy digesting this meal, because if we die, it's not going to make any difference. Our body's organs, everything slows down to a creep during fight or flight. Well, so you run. Because the body, the same thing with, like, if you're in a car wreck, or if you see somebody and you do things that are way out of your, what you're supposed to be doing, strength-wise, endurance-wise, whatever, that's what happens. Your body completely slows down everything, and it redirects all of the energy towards that, whatever you need to do. Well, the only thing is that back then, outrun the bear, and the bear is not, he goes away. Then at that point, we go, when you're running and you've outrun whatever you're running, what's the first thing you do when you've outrun it and you realize, you stop and you go, well, guess what? There's a reason why he designed the, it's because when you breathe, when you take a breath, your body, it activates a parasympathetic nervous system. Okay. That is otherwise known as rest and digest. The only thing is, in our day and time, we have fight or flight with emails. We have fight or flight with family members. We have fight or flight with neighbors. We have fight or flight with coworkers. We have fight or flight when we're going to work in the morning. Somebody is driving too slow, too fast. We're at Starbucks. They're not doing it fast enough. We're going through the drive-thru. We're not. There is no, the bear has gone. And when that bear leaves, another bear comes right behind him on his heels. But they're not animals 99.9% of the time. So our bodies never, ever, ever get to slow down. And when we slow down, when that rest and digest, when that breathing comes in, that's when our digestion starts again. That's when our organs start to function more properly. We don't have that extra, and we don't do that. So it's about 10 after. So let's see, we've got still 1, 2. Okay, so what I want everybody to do, sorry, you can see my boobs. I apologize. There we go. Okay, so what I want you to do is put your notebook down or whatever you got in your hand. If you are sitting on a bed or laying on the bed, you can stay where you are. But if you're sitting down in a chair, I want you to put your booty in the chair, feet on the floor, hands in your lap. Now turn your hands over so that the palms of your hands are up. Okay? Now I want everybody to close their eyes. All right? Now I want you to take a deep breath in through your nose. And then I want you to exhale through your mouth. And it's okay if we hear you breathing. Okay? If you don't want us to hear you breathing, mute your microphone. Inhale through your nose deeply. Exhale through your mouth. And do it again. Nice deep breath in through your nose. Exhale through your mouth. Now continue to keep your eyes closed. You're going to just gently breathe however is nice and comfortable for you. Just listen to my voice. We're going to slowly relax the body. Okay, so we're going to start at the head. Your scalp. Is it kind of tingling? Slowly let the scalp release. Feel the hair just kind of slowly coming down. What about your forehead, your temples, your eyes? Are they scrunched? Are you holding tension there? I want you to release your eyes. Just release your temples. Feel gravity start to pull them down towards the floor. As you're breathing, notice your heart rate slows down. Notice your blood pressure. Everything starts to slow down. Your shoulders and your neck. A lot of people hold tension in their shoulders and their neck. I want you to release your shoulders. Let them fall down towards the floor. As much space between your ears and your shoulders as you can get. As you're breathing, inhaling and exhaling. Slowly relaxing everything. Our belly is going down. As women, we're taught to hold your belly in. I want you to let your belly go. And when you're breathing in through your nose, not only let it come and fill up your lungs, but allow it to travel down into your belly, and your belly should rise. And then as you exhale through your mouth, your belly will flatten out and your lungs will deflate. And again, as you're breathing in, feel your lungs fill up with air all the way down into your belly. Exhaling, releasing the belly, releasing your lungs. Everything starts to deflate. Everything is nice and heavy, just hanging. Feel gravity. Now as we're walking down the body, You're going to feel your thighs, your quads, and your knees. A lot of people have tension in their knees. Release your kneecap. Release them. Release the thighs. Release your hamstrings. Release everything. Going down the leg, your calves, your shins, your feet, your toes. Are your toes scrunching up or fidgety? Your feet fidgety? Gently just let your legs gently relax. Feet are on the floor. Toes are nice and just falling down towards the floor. Everything should feel nice and heavy as you're breathing. Inhaling or exhaling. Inhaling one more time. And exhaling. Whatever happened to you yesterday, let it go. Whatever happened to you 5 minutes ago, let it go. It doesn't serve you. You can't do anything about it. You can't change it. You can't fix it. And holding on to it just creates turmoil and stress in your body. Let it go. Allow your body and your mind to be right here, right now, in this place. Not thinking about what you have to do at 9 o'clock tonight, not thinking about what you have to do at 5 o'clock in the morning or 7 o'clock tomorrow. That hasn't come yet, so you really don't know what it's going to bring. What you are is where you are at this moment in time. And we don't do that very often. We rarely are in the moment. We're always either in the past or we're pushing towards the future. Allow yourself to be in this moment. Notice your body. Notice where those points of tension were. And as you breathe, just be gentle with yourself. Ladies, we've got a lot on our plates. Life is not easy. And we need to cut each other some slack. We need to cut ourselves some slack. Slowly now, I want you to start breathing deeply in through your nose. Exhaling through your mouth. And wiggling your fingers, coming back to where you are. How are we doing? Everybody back, opening your eyes. How do you feel?
Relaxed.
Relaxed? Good. Guys, that is one thing that if you are talking about intentions, intentions are different from to-dos. Intentions are things that you set for your day, not your week, not your month, but intentions are things you set for your day, all right? A lot of times when I get up and I do my quiet time, you know, the Lord will reveal to me some things that, you know, that maybe I want to work on that day. You know, maybe I'm having a poor, pitiful me day, and I need to work on being grateful for what I have, different things like that. So one intention I would really like for you all to try to do during this 3 weeks is to kind of have about a 5-minute just decompress. Allow your body to get back to that rest and digest state, because what you're going to be doing is resetting your body by eating and working out and timing, you know, intermittent fasting, things like that. And when we're all tense and when we're all jacked up, our bodies release cortisol, Now, hormones, they don't do what they're supposed to do anyway right now, but they really are going to get all jacked up. So that's one thing I really, really, really want you to do. Okay. Practice every day. Try. And if you don't beat yourself up. Okay. But it doesn't have to be 5 minutes. It can be 1 minute. It can be 30 seconds. It can be sitting at a stoplight. It can be, you know, if you're on the phone with a customer and they're about to drive you insane and you're like, can feel your blood pressure rising, then you just kind of go, take a deep breath in and exhale. Your blood pressure automatically drops. All right? So, awesome. Okie dokie. Let me get out of this. Done. Okay. So, what we are going to learn, I need to first preface this with, I am an integrative health coach. Okay, this is my little fine print at the bottom of the page. And this is a health course based on Shaun Hadsall's book. Okay, it's of the same name and it's facilitated by me. So, but I am not a nutritionist. I am not a dietitian. I am an elite health coach. I'm an elite personal trainer, and I am a integrative health coach. So, but just to start at the top. So, get that out of the way. When this course is over, guys. Oh, thing. No wonder. Got my laptop here. I'm like, okay. You are going to learn why fasting is important for women over 40. Actually, fasting is important for a lot more than women and men over 40. Okay. A long time ago, or actually not so long ago, a lot of people thought that, you know, if you don't eat for an extended period of time, that your metabolism drops. That is true if you go over about a 36-hour window, but you can actually go a 36-hour window of fasting and your body's metabolic rate will not drop. So a lot of people are like, I don't know, you know, you're not supposed to, I'm supposed to eat every 2 hours and this, that, and the other. And everybody is different, okay? That's another thing that everybody needs to understand is that we are all individuals. And there's so many different diet theories out there. One might work for Carol, but doesn't work for me, okay? One might work for Hilda, but doesn't work for Carol. So the thing is that to try things to see how they're going to affect your body. But the problem is that normally we don't try them for more than 2 or 3 days. And then we go, oh, okay, that's not working. Yeah. Carol, did you raise your hand?
No, I was scratching.
Oh, how about you do it like this?
I didn't. Sorry. Not to mute for me.
All right, guys, y'all can like chime in if you need to have a question or whatever. Please don't. This isn't a lecture time, but anyway. So we're going to also learn that you really are what you eat, and recommended nutrition options designed for your personal success. Okie doke. There's, as you've read, there's food groups: protein, starch, vegetables, fruits, and fats. Alrighty. They all work differently. They all create different things in our bodies, but they were all designed for specific purposes. God did not create something that we are supposed to eat if it was not good for your body. He did not. So, women are petrified of food. We are. We've gotten a bad rap. Food is not the enemy, okay? It's kind of what we've done with food. We have made non-food food with some food. So we're going to learn that actually eating a lot during a shorter period of time is going to kind of jumpstart your body versus eating a little bitty bit every 2 to 3 hours, kind of around the clock. Okay. We're going to learn how to coordinate your fasting goals with your lifestyle, minus the fear factor. Your eating schedule in relation to your workout cardio schedule. This intermittent fasting can be done across the board. I have people that come into the gym and they're like, my work schedule is so messed up. They work third shift, and their body, they eat at night, and then they come home and they sleep maybe an hour, 2 hours, maybe nap. Then they get up and they start eating because it's the daytime, and that's normally when they think they're supposed to eat. So in reality, they're eating probably 20 out of 24 hours. So the thing about this is what's so cool is that if you work, say you work third shift and you go in at 11, work 11 to 7, then 11 to 7 is 11? My math skills are good. I got 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, that's your 8 hours. That's your eating window. When you come home at 7, your fasting starts. So go to bed and sleep. But the thing is that you can do this, and actually when you get up from sleeping, if you work out, it would be the same as somebody sleeping at night, getting up early in the morning and working out on that empty stomach. But they're just flip-flop. So it really can go in any type of work situation, lifestyle, and it doesn't always have to be the same hours fasting versus, fasting and eating. So say, for instance, you're going, Thursday night you're going out. And you're going to go out, you're going to have a nice dinner, and so you're going to have a glass of wine, and then you're going to have dessert after, or you're going to have bread, whatever. That's perfectly fine. The way that you're going to learn the different meal styles and what you put together don't have to be in that first meal, second meal, third meal, fourth meal order. You can play chess with those meals. So if you're eating at night and you've gone out and you've had your dinner and your wine and your dessert, and say you get home and the last time you ate was 9 o'clock, that would be when you would start your fast at 9. You would rotate 14 hours. So, 9 to 9 is 12, 10, 11. So you would start eating again at 11. And when you've had a meal like that, and we'll learn more about this, but when you've had a meal like that late, the best thing to do is when you wake up is you go work out right when you wake up on that empty stomach. Because even though your body has digested that food, your insulin levels are going to be low during that time. Your body is going to pull the fat, the stuff that's still left in there, it's going to pull that as fat, because you're not going to have any sugar, you're not going to have any carbs, you're not going to have anything in there. Your insulin level is so low. So you go work out when you wake up. Super important, especially if you've eaten something late at night, like that, a meal late at night. But you can kind of alternate. And then in this whole thing, I don't know if you guys read, but you do have cheat meals. You have cheat meals and cheat days. Okay? So we'll go over those. Those are like my favorite. We're going to go over how to match your eating habits to your personal and professional level of activity. So whether you are sedentary or whether you're an elite athlete. Okay? You're going to learn how to eat when you work out, depending on what you do. So, for instance, if you are someone who maybe doesn't work out at all, whatever the case may be, say you are someone who, is, and I'm just going to use this, someone who maybe is in a wheelchair and doesn't work out at all, even upper body, or for whatever reason, something's going on in your life and you're just not working out. You just can't do it. There is still this same eating cycle that works. It's just a little bit different in what you implement into those formulas than if you are someone who lifts weights, resistance trains, and does cardio, you know. So it's not something that you have to work out. I personally think that you need to move your body. Working out to me is not something that you have to go to the gym and do. I mean, I was a Beachbody coach for 4 years, and I still absolutely love Beachbody programs. So, you know, I worked with a lot of women who worked out at home. They had kids. They couldn't go to a gym, or they couldn't afford the to pay somebody so that they could go to the gym, or whatever the case may be, or they need to work out like at 4 in the morning because their kids were asleep. And that's the only time, I mean, if we all have kids, we know, morning time is the only time you got. Because at the nighttime, when you put them babies down, I don't know about y'all, but I'm like this. Oh my gosh. So you don't have to go to a gym. You don't have to lift weights. You don't have to. You just move your body, whether it be walking, whether it be bike riding, whether it be kayaking, or if you're a hiker. There's a whole lot of ways. Your body doesn't know the difference between whether you go to a gym and lift weights or whether you go out in the woods and hike a trail. It doesn't know. It just knows what it's doing. It just knows the burning of the calories. It just knows how long you're doing it, that kind of a thing. So we'll get into that. Also, we are going to learn the importance of cheat days. So many people, it's either all or nothing. Okay? Cheat days are extremely important. Your body is so stinking smart that if you eat this way, this way, this way, this way, every single day, and you never allow your body to increase in calories, decrease in calories, increase in carb intake, decrease in carb intake, this kind of a thing every once in a while, your body will start to realize that, she's only giving me this. So I'm going to hold on to more of this. If you throw some at it, not only are you going to be a much happier person, because, I mean, I don't know about y'all, but matter of fact, I went to, Earth Fair the other day, and I was shopping, and I found these gluten-free, they're chocolate chip cookies, and you make them. So they're like Nestle Toll House chocolate chip cookies, but they're gluten-free and vegan. And anyway, I was like, okay, we're going to try these. Anyway, they're really good. They were super good. And, everybody likes a treat, a sweet treat. So we're going to make sure that we take time for cheat day. All right. Now, whether or not you are, based on your level of fitness, level of working out, what you are doing is going to depict whether or not you have a cheat day or a cheat meal. Difference. Okay? Meal is uno meal. Cheat day is 24 hours, or actually not 24 hours, 8 hours. Okay? So, we are also going to then put it all together and figure out how this is going to best work for you, for your best happy, healthy, whole life. All right? Okie doke. So let's start with intermittent fasting. Does anybody know what intermittent fasting is?
Break periods when you don't eat.
Okay. Yep. It's when your body, it's the number of hours you abstain from food and beverages that contain calories. All right. So that's why during your fast, you can have black coffee with, and believe it or not, heavy cream will not break your fast. Okay. So if you like cream in your coffee, you can have heavy cream. Heavy cream, if you look at the back of the container, it has 0 sugar. Zero. It's just fat. And it's actually good fat. So you can have heavy cream. Green tea. I don't know. I set out some of my stuff that I'm with this program, but like I say, I go to a Life Fair, and I don't know if you can see that, but it is honest green tea, and that's all it is. Literally, just green tea. Okay, you can have that. You can use stevia. Okay, if you like a sweetener, I like a sweetener in some of my stuff. Stevia is the only one you can use. Okay, now they have, you know, the packets of stevia, but you need to really be careful when you're looking at these packets of stevia, because a lot of them are stevia and truvia mixed together, or stevia and some sugar mixed together. All right, I like, and I didn't put it here. Hang on, guys. Let me grab it, because it's like I take it everywhere I go. Hold on. It is Sweet Drops. Can you see that? Yeah. I got that at, where did I get that? Earth Fair. All right. And it's super sweet. So I just squirt a little bit in whatever I'm, you know, whether it's my green tea, or if I want it a little bit sweeter, my coffee, whatever. But that thing goes with me everywhere I go. I mean, like if I start to get like half a bottle left, I start panicking. So this is like my saving grace. But
Leigh, I have a quick question. It's Haley. Is it okay to add lemon to your green tea? Just a slice of lemon?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Lemon is fabulous. Lemon will bring your body back down to an alkaline state, even though it's acidic. So yes, it's awesome. Yes. Yes.
Are those drops bitter?
No, they're sweet. They're sweet. It's like sugar, but it's stevia. It's the stevia.
Sometimes I found stevia to have like a bitter taste to it. And
yeah, I mean, some people don't like. It doesn't bother me, because I used to be a Splenda addict, and you know, Splenda is the yellow packs, and yeah, I got caught out on that real fast, and so Splenda is like what's usually in most, you know, like diet sodas and all of that stuff, and it's sucralose, and sucralose is when it's heated, like in coffee. If you put it in coffee, it turns to formaldehyde. And so after years of drinking stevia, I mean, you know, sucralose, that's why a lot of the Desert Storm, the veterans, when they came back, Desert Storm, they were in Iraq, and it's super hot there. And they dropped a whole bunch of like Cokes, Diet Sprites, and they put them in these warehouses that were hot. Well, sucralose and heat don't jive. They don't jive. So that's kind of what happens after a long period of time, what happens to your brain. So yeah, stevia is the only sweetener that you can use if you want to use a sweetener. And it is from a plant, so it is natural. Your body will recognize it. You can also go to a health food store and buy a stevia plant. I don't know if you've ever done that, and you pull off a leaf. If you pull off a leaf and put it in your mouth, it is so sweet. You can, you know, just put it in your tea and stir it and kind of let it, like you would, you know, thyme or anything like that, mint, anything like that. So, yes, so intermittent fasting is anything that does not contain calories. Water, green tea, hot or cold, coffee, hot or cold, That's pretty much it. Okay, and when I say doesn't contain calories, I don't mean like a flavored water that has, if you look on the back, has Splenda in it or whatever, because then it's got all kind of other junk in it too. So, all right, the fasting window for women, ladies, is going to be 14 hours. If you have a husband or a son or anybody that's going to do this that's male, the fasting window for men is 16 hours. All right. This is flexible because as long as you have fasted between 12 and 16 hours, you can always go more than 14 hours. A lot of people like to, and you'll read in that ebook that Shaun and his wife Karen, like once or twice a week, they'll go 24 hours. And that's not bad for your body. Your body, it just allows your digestive system to rest. Okay, so, and I don't know if you've ever noticed, but you get you'll start noticing, and that's another thing that I want to make sure that we understand is I want everybody to get a notebook, a journal, whether you want to just grab some notebook paper, put it together, whatever. But I want you to keep a journal. I want you to write down what you feel like. Because the first couple of days are kind of hard if you haven't been fasting, if you haven't done intermittent fasting. Because you have a hormone, it's called ghrelin, and it's your hunger hormone. I would say probably between 70 and 80% of people don't really know when their bodies are hungry. We don't ever truly get hungry. We think we get hungry, but 90% of what we're feeling is our sugar levels plummeting, and we get that craving for sugar or chocolate or milk, things like that. The things that make our brains light up in like a dashboard, right? 3 things that your body is going to probably rebel against. If you are if you're addicted to sugar, if you're addicted to milk, which is ice cream, things like that, and if you're addicted to chocolate. Those 3 things, your bodies are not going to like you for about 3 days. So just dig in and you'll get through it. But it really is crazy because those 3 things they make your brain light up the same as someone who has been on opiates. And those 3 things, you know, Narcan, what they give people who OD on opiates, if they gave you a shot of Narcan and you're a sugar addict and they put your favorite sugary treat in front of you, you would go, no. Because it blocks those sensors. It blocks those parts of your brain. So it's really important to understand that some of this doesn't have anything to do with willpower. Okay? Some of it is flat out detox. So, and I think that scares people sometimes. But once you get your body out of that habit, you get it out, and it takes a little bit, you will be amazed at how much better you feel, how much clearer you're thinking, how much more energy you have. It's really, really crazy. So just know that going in. But I would like for you to keep a journal, a daily journal, and just how you feel. You know, how you feel when you're eating. Am I hungry when I ate? You know, did I want to eat what I was, you know, my 4 meals a day? Did I want to eat those? Or was I like, you know, I'm really not hungry? Because the one thing intermittent fasting will do for you, and when you eat the foods combined together that you're supposed to eat, is it will decrease and completely null and void that insulin onslaught. Okay, insulin is dumped into our system because of glucose, because of sugary things, and there's no protein or anything to kind of counterbalance those things. So what you'll do is you'll start to notice that I'm not hungry. And it's really kind of crazy. It's really kind of crazy. Also water, big thing. Now, there is actually a thing of drinking too much water. What you're supposed to drink is 1.5 times your body weight. Okay, so actually, let me back that up. Like a gallon of water is about normal for what most of us would be needing to drink. That's a lot of water. That's a lot of water. So make sure so you don't get headaches or you don't flush all of your electrolytes out. Make sure you use sea salt. I'll buy distilled water and I pour it in a jug, and I use sea salt. And I don't know if you guys, but that is Himalayan sea salt. It's pink. Okay. You can buy, I think I bought this at Big Lots. I think I did, because it's huge. But you take a little bit of this, and just a little, and sprinkle it into your water, your distilled water, and that takes care of the electrolytes. Okay, so you're not going to get a headache. You're not going to feel yucky. You're not going to feel, you've heard of like fasting, the flu-y symptoms. Okay, if you start to feel yucky, then go and make sure you're using some of the Himalayan sea salt, okay, in your water, and that will mix all of that.
Leigh,
Yes.
what's the point of distilled water versus filtered water?
I like it just because it doesn't have any of the, there's minerals and all kinds of stuff in the water, and it's plain. And I just like it better. I mean, you don't have to. You can drink regular water. I just do because I know if I put this in there, then I know that I've got the electrolytes that I need in there. So it's not anything that, you don't have to drink distilled water. I just do. And I like to buy it in a jug because then I can kind of tell how much I've drank. I'll kind of gauge myself. Water is water. But drinking that much water, a lot of times you will wash your electrolytes out. So just make sure you're putting some back in. And Gatorade is not something that you want to use. So
It's full sugar.
yeah. All right. So everybody got make sure you're journaling what you're feeling, how you're feeling, whether or not you're getting hangry, whether or not you're getting, crampy, whether or not you're getting, what you're feeling. I'm feeling more alert. I'm tired. At night, if you've gotten into a bad habit of getting up in the middle of the night, I got into that really bad habit because my hormones are going nuts. So I've come off my synthetic hormones, and I would go to sleep, but I would wake up about 11:30, 12 o'clock at night, and I could not go back to sleep. I would get up and go in the kitchen and get something to eat, and it was not something I needed to be eating at 11, 12, 1 o'clock in the morning. And then I would go back to bed. I got into a really bad habit of doing that. So when I first kind of started playing with this, that was really hard. But keep water beside your bed and just drink your water. If you wake up and you're hungry, know that that's that hormone, that ghrelin hormone, and it takes a little while for it to kind of calm down, for your body to kind of override. Alrighty, so just really drink your water. All right. So if you did y'all find look at the little chart that had to do with last meal, when you had the last meal of the day, then when you could start eating again? Did you all see that? So if you want to write down, if you eat your last meal at 6 o'clock at night, the first meal of the following day for women would be around 8 o'clock in the morning. Okay? So that would be a 14-hour fast, 6 at night to 8 in the morning. So then you would eat the 8 hours, 8 to 6, all right? Say the next night you're going out and you're not going to eat your meal till 7 o'clock. That's the last meal you ate. Well, then your first meal of the day, the next day, would be 9 o'clock. And it just kind of goes so forth and so on. If you eat at 8 o'clock at night, your first meal would be at 10 in the morning. If you eat at 9 at night, your first meal is going to be at 11. If you eat at 10 at night, your first meal is going to be at 12. Okay? So, again, you can back these up, switch them around, do what you need to do. That's why this works, because it allows you to actually live your life, and you don't have to go, okay, well, I can only eat this in the morning and this in the afternoon and this at night, and then I can't mix it up. What if I go out at night and I want bread and I want wine and I want dessert? Well, flip it around. Flip it around. The thing with this is that you have to be aware of what you're doing. You can't just haphazardly go through the week. Okay? So in order to, go ahead. Oh, I thought she was going to say something. So make sure, that you kind of plan, and we're going to go through how to plan, but make sure, because that's going to be what's going to kind of take you to the finish line. And I know people have heard it, but it is the dadgum truth. If we fail to plan, we plan to fail. Okay? And that goes with anything in life, guys. We can't just get up and go, oh, whatever happens, happens. No. And it's the same way with our health and our fitness. It just won't work. Okay, so there are some things that you are responsible for, and planning is one of them. All right, why do we intermittent fast? Physically, it helps drain your muscles and liver of glycogen. Do we know what glycogen is? No. Glycogen is like oxidative chemicals. Okay. Your liver needs to release stuff. And this is one of the things that helps it do that. It forces the body to use up stored calories and energy. Again, talking about if you eat your largest meal at 9 or 10 o'clock at night, when you get up in the morning, that's why I said it's important for you to work out on that empty stomach in the morning, because that helps your body get rid of all of that excess. Plus, your insulin levels are so low that your body is pulling fat for fuel. Your body has 2 fuel sources. You know what they are? One is carbohydrates and sugar. One is fat. Your body prefers carbs and sugar. So that's why, if you've heard of keto, I'm sure you've probably heard of the keto lifestyle. That's why it's so difficult to stay on a keto diet, because your body has to be so low. Your carb intake and your sugar intake has to be so low, like no more than 8 to 10 grams per day, so that your body will flip over to using the fat as fuel. And your body is really smart. And if it sniffs 1 more gram above the bottom level, it's going to stop using fat and it's going to flip to using your carbohydrates as fuel. Okay? So that's one thing during all of this. You will notice that there's 2 huge rules of thumb, but one big one. And when I learned it, I was like, are you freaking kidding me? Oh my gosh. I've been doing this forever. Do y'all like Mexican food?
Oh, yeah.
Go ahead. It's all right. It's all right. I do. So you go out and you're like, okay, I'm going to get something with rice, brown rice on it, and avocado, right? Brown rice and avocado are good. They're healthy. But one major rule of thumb, you never eat a carbohydrate and a fat in the same meal, ever. Because your body is going to use the carb as fuel. It prefers that. So it's going to sniff both of them and go, I'm going this way. So it's going to use the carb as fuel. What's going to happen to the fat you just ate? It's going to go right to your belly or your booty or your arm, whatever. Wherever your body likes to suck it in, it's going to go. Okay? So huge, huge rule of thumb. Never, ever eat a carb with a fat. And that has been probably one of the hardest things for me to do because I automatically put avocado on everything. I love avocado. Then all of a sudden now I'm like, meat and fat. And see, that involves 2 fruits. So fruit's going to be a sugar that your body's going to sniff out and use for fuel. So the carbs
you just killed avocado toast.
I know, right? Who eats avocado toast?
I do.
Do y'all like avocado toast? I love avocado toast.
And does that mean you can't put butter on or ghee or something like that on bread either? No bread and butter.
No bread and butter. I know, right? It stinks. It stinks. But it is, but when you think about it, if you're thinking about it from not a food standpoint of view, but from what your body actually does with the food you give it, it's amazing. It's amazing because it does. It's only going to use one fuel source. And if you give them both of them, it's tucking that other one way down here. And trust me, it's not going to go get it because 90% of the time, if we're doing that, it won't go get it because we're giving it the carbs. So it's not going to go get that fat fuel source. So that's huge.
So question.
Yeah.
You like avocado and you want it with something. What would you?
I would do an omelet. I would do eggs. I would do spinach. And I would do avocado. So you take a protein. Always fuel a carb with a protein or a protein with a fat. But don't fuel a carb and a fat together or a fruit and a fat together.
Leigh, I'm having to relearn everything because I have done keto. And so I'm used to eating a fat with a carb. Say like if you eat an apple, they say to eat maybe like a few nuts or something like that, or almond butter or something like that, because the fat will slow down the insulin.
Right.
Spike.
Right.
So is that not accurate? Is that not right? No, that's the way I've gotten used to eating.
Yeah, it's not that it's not accurate. It's just when we have hormones, before we hit this hormonal crazy, our estrogen, progesterone, and testosterone do a whole lot more than just help us get pregnant, keep pregnancies, regulate our cycles, all of that. They have a lot to do with our metabolic, the way that our body meets cortisol and all the other types of hormones that will, if left unchecked, will create the belly fat and all of this stuff. So when we hit this time, hit at 40, when you're using, the fat does drop the insulin, or it doesn't allow the blood sugar to come because there is no sugar there. But you have to pair it now with a protein versus pairing it with a sugar, which is whether it be an apple, a fruit, or a carbohydrate. You just have to pair it with a protein. And so like nuts, for instance, if you like Greek yogurt, which, did I get that? I don't think I did. Anyway, like organic Greek yogurt, the plain. So what I do is I will add stevia because this is a plant. It's not a carb. And then because I don't like the bitter taste of Greek yogurt, the plain. So this will cut that just a little. And then I will add maybe a handful of almonds in there, or some peanuts, or some sunflower seeds, or an avocado. So,
Leigh,
yes. Who's this?
this is Robin.
Okay.
If we were going to drink coffee,
Mhm.
and you said you could use the heavy cream,
Mhm.
can we do the drops in that?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yes. Also, there is, I don't know if any of you have heard of bulletproof coffee.
I do. I have. I love it.
Okay. A lot of people, if you haven't and you're fixing to listen to this, you're probably going to wrinkle your nose up and go, oh my God, that sounds horrendous. And trust me, that's what I thought too, but it's not. And it's brain octane fuel. It is crazy. One of the things that you'll be getting is organic coconut oil. And again, I got this at, with that place I go to. My brain, I can't remember half the stuff. But it's coconut oil. It's organic coconut oil. Organic coconut oil is really expensive. And this, I think it's only like $4. But what I like about it is you can keep, you don't keep it in the fridge. You keep it in a dark cabinet. Okay. And it's squishy. It's still, kind of a solid, but it's steam refined. So it's squishy. So you just literally take the top off and squirt it into whatever. So, but bulletproof coffee is a tablespoon. So the way that I do, if I did hot coffee, would be I brew my coffee and I have a little like food processor, just a small one. I'll take my coffee, I'll pour it in the food processor. I add 1 tablespoon of coconut oil, and I add 1 tablespoon of grass-fed butter. Now, grass-fed butter is expensive as well. Kerrygold, Kerrygold, is a grass-fed butter, and Earth Fare carries it, and that I really like that. It's not huge and it's not super expensive. So, but I melt the grass-fed butter in the microwave, and then I pour that in there, and then I hit blend. And I know it sounds bad, but really it comes out, and I add a couple of drops. It comes out really frothy, and you just pour it right back in your coffee cup, and you drink it. And don't knock it till you try it. But, everybody's different, but it really is, it's different. And I was like, are you kidding me? Butter?
It's delicious.
Gross. Yeah, it really is. It really, really is. But that will not break your fast as well either.
I asked you once before, because I don't drink coffee.
Mm-hmm.
Can you do this with a green tea?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Green tea is not going to break your fast.
But I mean this bulletproof thing.
You know what? I've never done it with green tea, so try it and see.
I'm chicken.
Try it and see what happens.
I'll try it when I'm around you.
Great. Well, my kitchen junk will be hanging from the ceiling.
Lord.
So anyway, but yes. So you can, do all that. But when we get older and once we hit 40, things start, it's just really crazy how things start doing weird things. But I think you guys have already kind of figured that out or you wouldn't be here. Let's see here. Okay. Physically, when we fast, it lowers insulin. It increases growth hormone release. It raises it's catecholamine levels, which is a class of aromatic amines that they include neurotransmitters and a kind of a bunch of stuff like epinephrine and dopamine. So when we fast, when we get to that point when those insulin levels are so low, believe it or not, that's why you feel so alert. That's why you really feel good, because it starts hitting those dopamine transmitters in your brain. Okay. And I've got down here every over 40 hormone trigger activated by intermittent fasting helps you burn more fat and it preserves your muscle. Girls, when we worked out, if you worked out in your teens and your 20s and your 30s, you know, high impact or cardiovascular was like the thing. Everybody wanted to do cardio. Not a lot of people lifted weights. As we age, we've got to flip it. Cardio is important, but weightlifting is more important because we are hugely at risk for osteoporosis. The only thing that counterbalances osteoporosis is resistance training, period. Resistance training increases bone density. And it will, I mean, if you think about it, you know, osteoporosis people, they tend to kind of go over like this. But when you're resistance training, you're pulling against gravity. All right. So it's really, really important. And not only we don't have the muscle mass, muscle burns fat. The more muscle you have, the more fat you burn. And that doesn't mean the more big muscle you have, but the more muscle you have, the more fat you burn. So it's really, really important. All right. So are there any questions so far?
Hey, Leigh, it's
Yeah.
Karen. Can I ask a question?
Yeah, go ahead.
Since I'm late coming into this, and I'm sorry if I'm repeating something.
No,
Okay,
you're fine.
So the fasting. So like if I ate at 7 o'clock tonight,
Mm-hmm.
then I am going to fast until I'm not
Right.
looking at my sheet.
Go
So like
14
9 o'clock.
hours. So 7
Yeah.
tonight, 7 in the morning is 12, 8, 9 would be 14. So you could start eating at 9 o'clock.
Okay, but then am I going to eat like 3 just normal meals?
There'll be technically 4, but the first one, if you are somebody, and we're fixing to go over, if you're somebody who just, say you work at a job and you have to eat before 11 o'clock, say your fasting window stops at 11, and you're like, I can't do this. Maybe you take medication. Maybe you do something that you have to eat. There is a breakfast option that will not break your fast that you can do. And then you would move to when your fast would stop originally. And then you would have 3 meals during that 8-hour refeed window.
Up until 8 o'clock that night.
Correct.
Okay, and then can you explain what the thing is with the butter?
The butter.
In the drinks.
The coffee?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
called bulletproof coffee.
Yeah, and then you said something about the grass-fed.
Mm-hmm. It's a grass-fed butter, and it is organic coconut oil.
And what's the purpose of it?
It's brain octane fuel. What it does is it gives you that fat. Believe it or not, fat helps your brain. Fat helps a lot. Fat keeps you warm. If you notice, people that don't eat any fat ever, they get very thin and they don't have, they're cold. They're cold all the time. They're agitated. They're frustrated. They don't sleep well. There's a lot of things that fats do for our bodies. And everybody just thinks fats just make you fat. And that's really not true. So what this does is it gives you that, if you like coffee, it gives you your coffee, but it also gives you the MCT oil, which is a not branched chain amino acid. It's like a triglyceride chain and it's like a word that's like this long. I can't pronounce it, but it helps with your brain, waking up your brain, focus. It keeps you from being hungry. Because that's what fat does. Fat creates, it gives your body fuel without having insulin being dumped. And the insulin being dumped is what makes you hungry.
So I'm assuming when, I think it was Jill, it's a J word this morning. She was talking about cinnamon, and she was talking about putting the butter with it.
Esther.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so
That's
the
what she was doing.
cinnamon, butter, and what else was it that she was doing?
Coconut oil. It's coconut oil.
Drink.
Yep. And you put that, you take, the way you do it is I said, and I can put this in the chat so that you can find it, but you take your coffee, pour it in your blender, you take a tablespoon of coconut oil and a tablespoon of grass-fed butter, and you blend it. And you can add a little bit of stevia if you want, and then you pour it back into your coffee if you like hot, or over ice, however you like it. It sounds great.
What did she say about that?
She liked it, but she said, I don't like the cinnamon in the butter. She said it was a natural cinnamon.
Too much?
Yeah, she said, not so much.
Okay.
So you can play with everything. It's one of those things where you just kind of have to play with it to see. I'm not a cinnamon person in my coffee. So, all right, guys, going forward, for people who need to eat breakfast, okay, need to eat something in the morning. Say you fast from, 8 at night till 10 in the morning, and you're at work and you have to be at work at 7 o'clock, and you do something or you take medication, whatever the case may be. Don't freak out, okay? Because the only thing that you need to do is there's a sample day if you look on and write this down, it's on page 42. And there's a specific, they're breakfast foods that you can eat soon after you wake up that mimic basically and still give you those positive effects of intermittent fasting. Okay, and most of that, what that is I believe, if I'm correctly remembering, it's a protein and a fat. All right, so if you say, for instance, if you have to get up and go and you need to eat something, then you say you have 2 scrambled eggs and an avocado. So there's lists of food, whether it be, the protein, the starches, all of that. So you would just go to your protein list, figure out what you like, go to your fat list, figure out what you like, and then that's what you can have if you need to eat in the morning. Now, if you eat breakfast like that, instead of getting 4 meals during that 8 hour, you would get 3 other meals. Does that make sense? So if you don't eat that early breakfast, then you get 4. All right.
Leigh.
Yes.
This is Robin. Where are you when you say 42? Which packet are you in?
I'm in the main guide, the Hormone ReSet, the main guide. Let's see here.
The over 40 hormone reset diet.
Yeah, it's if you let's see, the over 40 hormone reset diet. Can you see? I don't know. Kind of main. It says the over 40 hormone reset diet main guide.
Okay.
And then if you click on there and go to what page did I say? 40.
42.
Yeah. Then that's going to give you the nutrition chart.
If you're on your desktop, the main thing that you said, the main guide, is not on there. It just is the reset diet part.
Yeah, it's just the main thing. Yeah. So it'll give you
the nutrition schedule.
Just for the morning for that page. Yeah. So the first 5 days, guys, are the hardest if you have not fasted, if you have not done an intermittent fasting. So know that going in and just hang on. Once we get past the first 5 days, I promise you, it is a whole lot easier. But your bodies have to get used to it if they have not been already used to intermittent fasting. Okay? Focus on your reward. Now, reward is not food. Food is fuel. Rewards are, I'm going to go take a walk outside. I've been wanting to go to see, for me, I've been wanting to go see the new Lion King. So for me, that would be my reward. Pick something that you like to do, something that maybe you want to get yourself or something. But food is not reward. Okay? And intermittent fasting makes it possible to get leaner while eating bigger at night. So you can enjoy a few glasses of red wine if you like, even an occasional dessert, and a few nights of the week. And that is going to go with that whole thing of what I said. If you do that at night, what you need to do when you wake up is what?
Work out.
Work out. Work out. Work out.
Can I ask you a question on the exercise?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to be honest. I'm never going to get out of bed earlier to exercise. I'm not. I'm not a morning person for that.
Yeah.
But it's probably going to be between 4 and 5 hours between lunch and dinner for me. As long as I exercise during that time, will it be pretty much the same effect?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. So you exercise between lunch and dinner?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine. And one of the things is that there's a meal that really needs to go depending on whether or not you're doing the cardio, whether or not you're doing strength training or resistance training, that you need to make sure you eat when an hour to an hour and a half after you do exercise. It's really important. So that one meal, I think he has it in the guideline as like the first meal, but it doesn't have to be the first meal. So if you don't exercise in the morning, like me, I do in the morning. So it's most of the time. So I'll wait an hour and then I'll eat that meal. But some days I'll do it at 3 or 4 in the afternoon. So I just take that meal and transport it to whenever I work out, after I work out.
Okay. So what if you can't exercise till evening time? You wait till an hour and a half after you eat?
Well, if you, what time do you exercise?
Well, it may be 7 or 8 o'clock.
So is it after you usually eat?
Yes.
Dinner? Okay. Yeah, then what I would do is I would try to maybe back that up some and take your last meal. Maybe, you know what, let me double check on that. Let me ask him, because that's going to put you eating something at, if it's 7, eating something at 8:30 and then pushing that fasting up to 10:30. So that might be on the same window as, but it can't be because you haven't been fasted, so your insulin levels aren't.
So are you saying that we need to, like going back to what the girl just said about not being able to exercise in the morning, but exercise 1.5 hours before you eat?
That is what the optimal, between 1 and 1.5. So you could eat as early as 1 after you exercise. But what that does is it allows your body, when you put that, which would be a carb, a protein, a fruit, and a vegetable. Your body needs, this is getting kind of technical, but your body needs to fuel your muscle and to get that sugar from the fruit and the carb into your muscles. It needs, that protein needs that sugar. So that's kind of where that all stems from. But let me double check on that if that's when you kind of exercise. So just hold on to your hat and I'll find out about that. Okay. Let's see here. All right, let's get to sizes of the different food groups. Protein. Guys, palm of your hand. Okay, that's about the size. We live in a world where we get 1 serving, which you could feed a family for 5 days on 1 serving. Okay, so protein is about the size of your hand. Carbs are about this. And usually it's about 1/2 cup if you're using that kind of a measuring thing. I rarely measure my food. I just kind of eyeball it. That's, I think, probably how most people do it. But if you need to measure it, carbs are kind of more like a half a cup or a fist. And protein is 3 to 5 ounces for women is good. And that's about the palm, size of your palm. Fats, guess what, guys? It's the size of your thumb times 2. Not very much, is it? But when you think of, you know, when we dump, I'm guilty. Olive oil. I just dump, you know, and I'm like, ooh, that's like 15 thumbs. So back away on the fats. Okay, kind of really monitor what the fats are, because it's really easy, especially nuts. It's easy to grab handfuls of nuts. Okay, so just be really careful with things like that. All right, now we're going to go food types and meal combinations. So if you need to write this down, write it down. First meal combination is going to be P plus S plus A. All right? P plus S plus A. P is protein, S is starch, and A is fruit. Now, why he did not put F for fruit, I do not know. But he did not. So, P, S plus A. Now, that is what you would eat after your workout. So, those are post-workout meals only. So, when you're looking at your little chart that's broken down, you know, like, okay, you get this first meal, this second meal, PS plus A, that is only after you work out. So Robin, after you work out, that's what I'm thinking. I don't know, unless he doesn't want you to eat that then. But for the most part, after you work out, that's what you eat. And it would be, if you work out at 6 in the morning and your fast doesn't break till 10, you don't eat that until 10 o'clock. Okay? So that's kind of where that goes. Second meal combination is P plus S plus B. Protein plus starch plus vegetable. All right. Third combination is P plus B plus O. Protein plus vegetable plus fat or oil. And realize that fat and oil, they are the same thing. It's not fat and oil. So when you're cooking things, you have to realize if you're using, you know, if you're using the coconut oil, that's your fat. That's your fat. So be careful when you're cooking sweet potatoes. Be careful, because I'm horrible about like dousing stuff with olive oil and when I'm baking. So be careful. And the fourth combination is protein plus fat. It's P plus O or oil. And that right there, that combination is going to be what you're going to use if you have to eat breakfast in the morning. Before your fast ends, you're going to do the protein plus the fat or oil. Okay? Any questions about those? All right. You are going to, if you go to your, did everybody look through and see the protein choices, the starch choices, the vegetable choices? I am not going to go through all of that just because that's self-explanatory. My advice is to take those and make you a list. Proteins, starches, vegetables, fruits, and fats. Put them on your refrigerator. Okay? Then that way you have something you're looking at when you're preparing your food, whatever the case may be. You can see what you're doing. Or if you have it on your phone, but my phone goes to, it's got the 30-second thing and then it bleeps out. It drives me insane. So somewhere where you can see it. Make this easy. Make this accessible. Okay, that's where you're going to get the most bang for your buck. All right? So there's a list of protein. There's a list of starches, fruits. And, basically, there's not really anything in there that you can't eat. He really emphasizes organic. He emphasizes grass-fed. He likes locally farmed stuff, which is really important. And if that would be the first choice, but you know what? If you're somewhere and you can't get that or whatever, don't not get it because you can't get that. Okay? So that's first choice, but if not, that's fine. Now, what I wanted to go over, I am allergic to shellfish. Anybody else allergic to shellfish? All right. One of the fats that he has listed is krill, K-R-I-L-L oil, or fish oil. If you are allergic to shellfish, do not eat the krill oil because it is a crustacean. Okay? So be aware. All right? And I have this in huge things on my thing. Do not eat krill oil. Fats are the main things that you're going to have to really watch. Like serving sizes for fats are usually about a tablespoon. Cheese is a fat. It's good. But it's a sprinkle or small serving. Okay? You don't need a lot of cheese to make it good. Flaxseed, ground up flax seeds, olive oil, mayonnaise. I don't know if you went through that. Small amounts of mayonnaise, and avoid canola or vegetable oil mayonnaises. Okay? And the rest of that we talked about. Egg yolks are great. Heavy cream. Limit raw nuts, seeds, nut butters, and avocado on carb up days. Why? Because if you're carving up, you don't want to eat the fat, right? All right, condiments. Condiments are, we rely on condiments a whole lot. We don't ever know what we're eating because we got so much condiment. So you may use condiments and you can read about them, but watch for the hidden sugars, guys. If you're going to use ketchup, use organic low sugar ketchup and only use a little. Use your head, okay? Sea salt, excellent. Stevia, excellent. Pepper, vinegar, garlic, horseradish, all of those, excellent stuff. Spices. Figure out what your food tastes like. We don't know what our food, huh? Oh, we don't know what our food tastes like. So kind of play with cooking. All right. So if you are, let me see here. All right, this is the schedule, eating schedule. So if you haven't gone through this, for women, on Monday, let's see. Let me look at this because I don't know if he's. All right. Protein is in every day. All right. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. A protein. Always a protein. On Monday, if you work out on Monday, you would get a protein, 1 starch, and 2 fruits. Okay? If you're on Tuesday and you're not working out with weights, but you're working out with cardio, you would not get a starch. You would get 1 serving of fruit. And then you can do Monday, Wednesday, Friday is the same. Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday is the same. And Sunday is going to be your free day or your free meal, depending on whether or not you work out or not work out. If you don't work out, you get a free meal, not a free day. Now, your activity level, guys, is going to depend on what you eat, when you eat, and how much you eat. Okay, so if you're not working out or you're active, that's going to kind of change things up a bit. So, and we're about ready. It's been about an hour and a half. Let's see here. Okay, so on Monday, this is just a blueprint so you can kind of mix things up. On Monday, say you weight train. Okay, Tuesday you cardio. Wednesday you weight train. Thursday you cardio. Friday you weight train. Saturday you cardio. And Sunday you're off. Okay, you do maybe yoga, maybe stretching, maybe nothing. You relax. Alrighty. You can flip-flop those days depending on what your schedule is. You don't have to make those your schedule. And when you go down to the resistance training day at a glance, that can be if you train on Tuesday. You know what I'm saying? Any day. So like at a glance for a resistance training day on Monday, an optional breakfast snack. If you can't wait till your fast time ends, you have to have something, then what do you eat? You eat a protein and you eat a fat. Then say you had to eat that at 7 o'clock. And your fast ends at 10. So at 10 o'clock, if you have worked out 1 hour prior to, then you would eat the what? Protein, starch, and fruit, and vegetable. Then maybe an hour later, 2 hours later, or whenever you get hungry, doesn't have to be 1 or 2 hours later, you would eat a protein and a starch and a fruit. Then your second meal would be a protein, a starch, a vegetable, or a fruit, or a protein, a vegetable, and a fruit. So there's a blueprint, but you can kind of mix and match during the day, except that one meal that needs to be an hour after you work out. Does that make sense? A lot of this is repetitive, but I think that's where people get messed up. Are y'all like freaked out? No? Okay. Then your last meal, if you've got a normal day, your last meal would be a protein, a vegetable, and a fat. The last meal of the day doesn't need to have a carb or a fruit in it. And the reason why is because your body is not going to have to do anything. The only reason you would give that as a last meal would be if you worked out and your body needed that to fuel what just happened to you. Does that make sense? So think about what you're eating and why you're eating it. Is your body going to be working out? Is your body going to be doing something fun? Do you need the energy? If you don't need the energy, you don't need the carb and the starch. Okay? So think about what you're doing.
So you're saying that the only time for your last meal that you could have a carb or a starch is if you had worked out an hour prior to that?
That is the the protein, the starch, and the fruit and the vegetable is the meal that you would eat no matter if you worked out at 4 o'clock and your dinner was at 6 o'clock, that would be your dinner. If you worked out earlier, then that would be an hour, hour and a half after that early workout. But in a normal day, if you worked out, then that would be your last meal. But in a normal day, if you had worked out earlier, then that would be your last meal, the protein, the vegetable, and the fat. Because that's what it's hard to say that this has got to be this time, this has got to be that time, this has got to be this time. Because everybody's life is changing and everybody has different things going on every day. And we all go out at night, and some do, some don't. It kind of depends, and that's why you really got to take into consideration what you're doing that day. And then kind of figure out what goes. And it sounds, talking to you like this, it sounds kind of hard, but it actually, if you put up all your food groups and then you put up your formulas, and the way I do it is I just put up my formulas and then I just kind of write in what I'm going to do based on my days. And you pretty much know at the beginning of the week whether you're going out on Friday night, whether you're going out on Wednesday night, if you have something going on. So you can kind of, and then even if you come there and somebody throws you a loop, you can still, if you go out and you eat an extra carb, you eat an extra, fruit or whatever, then make sure you try to work out that morning to burn off that fat because your body's going to be low. So you kind of have to just play with it a little bit. Guys, this is a lot to take in. And so I'm going to stop right there. Go in and write down, better yet, go in and write down on your, the package that you got, the Over 40 Hormone Reset Guide. Okay. That's the one I'm talking about, right? If you scroll down, you're going to see the table of contents, all right? Beside each thing, it's got a number, and it's a highlighted number, so you can just click on it, automatically take you to that place, all right? Go in, they have the flexible guidelines, which you need to read. They have the, like a quick guide about eating out, which you need to read. They also have your nutrition schedule and recommended exercise schedule. If that works for you, if you already have your exercise schedule, then that's going to help you figure out where to put what meal. But so like for the nutrition schedule, it's page 42. So if I click on 42, that's going to take me to my Over 40 Hormone Reset Diet Recommended Nutrition Schedule. You can see that. It's a little bright. So go in and kind of write down, and that's the Over 40 Hormone Reset Diet Recommended Exercise Schedule. So it's got what days doing weights, and then resistance training day at a glance, the formulas for plugging in your food. Okay, and then you just go to your list. So it's really important, one, that you keep a diary. Two, if you can either print off lists of those foods, write it down by hand, whatever works for you, and put them on your refrigerator, those lists. And then sit down and kind of map out your workout schedules for the week, what you do, and not changing it around, what you do, because you're wanting to implement this into your life, not your life into this. So take time and just kind of sit down and figure out when you work out, and then that will help you figure out where you're going to put kind of at least that one meal. And then the rest of it is not brain science. It's not rocket science. Basically, on the days you work out, where you lift weights, you don't eat a fat. On the days you do cardio, You don't eat carbs and you don't eat fruit. And that's basically what it boils down to. So if you could do that before Thursday and kind of work on your intermittent fasting, you know, decide, okay, my last meal is going to be at 10 o'clock or 8 o'clock or 6 o'clock. Work on that fasting for 14 hours, and then you can start eating again. Whether you get the eating part right or not up until Thursday, let's just try to get that fasting thing going and kind of get that ghrelin hormone under control first. And then Thursday, we'll sit down and kind of map out how to, if you're having trouble, then you'll kind of have more of an idea of what to ask me. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Does anybody have any questions? I know this is a lot of material. I know this is, and that's why I didn't want to just kind of throw you out here with this download, and because it's like, what? You know, but it's not as hard as it seems. And once you really sit down and just kind of start pulling things out, you're like, oh, okay. Because most of that's just a bunch of words in there. Anybody have any questions?
I have one more.
Okay.
So, like, if you eat eggs in the morning, eggs with a vegetable,
Mm-hmm.
Normally I do use oil, maybe like olive oil or ghee or something like that to scramble my eggs in. So now, since you can't have the fat with the carb, does that mean that you could have the eggs with the veggies, but don't use any oils? Or, I mean, is that meal just canceled out now? You understand what
Yeah, I do. I understand completely. No, I do not think so. I have used the olive oil spray. So let me ask that question as well. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So, so I'll get back with you on that question. So I think that's really technical. And I'm not 100% sure about that one either.
I'm sorry. I mean, that's, because I like asparagus or spinach sometimes with my eggs in the morning.
Uh-huh.
And I always put a little ghee or olive oil or something like that. So
yeah, and I'm thinking it's just dry. I'm thinking you just do it dry, which is a pain. Honestly, if it is, that's pain in the rear, because the big pain is trying to clean the pan.
Okay.
But so let me double check on that before I say yes or no, because that's one thing. So that, and also Robin's question about the working out at night, and how is that supposed to go with working out past dinner with eating the post-workout meal. Is that right, Robin?
Yes.
Okay. All right. All right, guys, I'll have these questions and I'll have them in the group hopefully by tomorrow. Any other questions? So this week, get your journal, start writing down some stuff, work on your intermittent fasting, kind of get familiar with when you eat, when you fast, when you feed, what works for you. Go through, print off those food groups, food lists, get them somewhere that's visible, and then sit down and figure out, if you work out, when your workout schedules are. And I'm talking when your lifting schedules are and when your cardio schedules are. All right? And if they fall on the same day, then they fall on the same day. And I will find out from him if also about that, because that was one thing I wanted to know. What if cardio and lifting falls on the same day? All right.
Are you going to have a call on Thursday?
Yep.
So is it going to be recorded?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And it will.
When you do that and you record it, how can we listen to it afterwards?
Carol, that when we record on these, it just stays in the Zoom app, so they just can come back to this and it's still playing as long as I keep it up, right?
Okay. Oh, okay.
I think that's right.
Hang on, I'm trying to unmute. What happens is when you record it, Zoom will give you a link. And so when you do either the group email or you post on Facebook, you put that link in there and they will be able to, all of us will be able to click on that link and go to the recording.
Okay. All right.
And if you set up, like if you have a YouTube channel, you could also, I think, put it on your YouTube channel and make it private to just a certain group so everybody doesn't get it.
Okay. All right. So I'll put this, after I finish this, hopefully I'll get the thing and put it in the group.
Yeah, they'll send that to you.
Oh, and I wanted to let you guys know, if you see there's one boy's name in that group and it's Hilda's son, he's not actually in there. She's doing it through her. She's not on Facebook, which is great. I applaud you for that, actually. But so anyway, if you see that, it's her. It's not him. So
will we use the same number as far as group number on the Zoom each time?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. I think so. I have to double check on that. It's my number. It's my personal. Yeah, it's my personal thing. So, but they might give another link.
When you go back into Zoom, go into your settings for your meeting and set this as a recurring meeting, and then everybody will always have this.
Okay. Awesome. That's what I'll do then. All right, ladies. I know this was long, and I apologize for the running over 15 minutes, but it's really, this is a lot of material. I mean, I know some of you are like, oh my gosh, it's like 50 some odd pages. What? And it's a lot of material. So just kind of slowly go through it and unwrap what you need to and do what I asked you to do. And then Thursday, we'll start unpacking some questions and I'll have the answers to these questions. Okie doke? All right, guys. Thank you so much. Again, if you have questions, put it in the group. Because 90% of the time, if you have the question, somebody else has the question too. So that way I can answer it and everybody can see the answers. So, all right. If you have something that you want to ask me that's personal, you feel free to email me or message me, whatever you want to do. That's perfectly fine as well. Okay. And I'll get back to you as soon as I can. All right, ladies, y'all have a wonderful night. Sleep tight. Don't let nothing bite. Love you guys. My pleasure.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Love you guys. Bye. Y'all know how to get out of here, right?
Yeah, just hit down at the bottom, hit leave meeting, and it'll get you out.
Yep. And I'm going to hit end meeting.
Yeah.